See, how many ways are there to write solid program? 3 ways. What is first one? By implementing solid interface. Solid interface. This is first one. Second one, by extending generic solid is one more way. Okay. Next one, by extending HDP solid. Okay, HDP solid class. So 3 different ways. First one, by extending solid, by implementing solid interface. Second one, by extending generic solid class. Okay. Third one, by extending HDP solid class. Okay. Now, by implementing solid interface, by extending generic solid class, by extending HDP solid class. 3 ways are there. If we implement solid interface, how many methods mandatory to override? That's what we are not using this one. Okay. If you implement interface, all methods you have to override. Whether required or not, you must override all methods. That is the reason we are not going to use that one. Second one, by extending generic solid. Then how many method mandated to override? One method. Which method? Service method. Third one, by extending HDP solid. Now, if we extend generic solid, if we extend HDP solid, difference is, if we extend HDP solid, it is subclass. Subclass services you can access, superclass service you can access. That is the reason we are going to use HDP solid. Okay. So instead of generic solid, HDP solid is best option. But HDP solid, there is no method mandatory. You have to select whichever you want. But how to select? That is I'm explaining, not completed. Okay. See, yesterday I given like this: solid, generic solid, HDP solid. Okay. So my solid. No, it is my solid. No. Solid interface inherited in generic solid. Generic solid inherited in HDP solid. HDP solid inherited in my solid. These are predefined. One is our class. Okay. Here. Now these methods, 5 abstract methods are there. Here, 1 abstract method. These 2 not required. Now we are going to use this part. Okay. Here, 4 methods are there. 4 methods are there. Service method is there, which takes solid request, solid response. Another service method is there, which takes HDP solid request, HDP solid response. So first service method is called life cycle service method. Second service method is called non-life cycle service method. Third method, do get. Fourth method, do post. Okay. Now, suppose in my system, in my solid, do get, I'll override. So this method I'm overriding here. Okay. Now, suppose get type request comes. Get type request comes to my solid. Now one get type request comes to my solid. Get type request came. When get type request comes, first what it will do, it will check for life cycle service method in a my solid. It is there. Then where it will check? HDP solid is there. Yes. It is called. After calling, it will call non-life cycle service. Okay. Now what it will do? It checks the request type. Which type of request came? Then which method called? Do get. Here HDP solid do get called or my solid do get called? My solid do get called. It is called. So this is called, this is called, this is called. But at last our do get method called. Okay. Suppose post type request came. Assume post type request came. First which method called? Life cycle service. Next, non-life cycle service. Next, where is do post? HTTP solid. So our do get method not called. That is the reason notes I given. Get method, do get method handles only get type requests. Now, for my solid get type request comes, our code is executed. For my solid post type request came. Now our code is not executed. Okay. That is the reason if you want to handle get type request only, you have to override do get. Suppose here, if I override here do post. If I override do post. If I override do post method. Do post method overridden. Okay. Do post method overridden. Get type request came. Assume get type request came. What are the methods called? This service, non-life cycle service, do get. But our program not executed. No? Then get type request not handled. Suppose post type request came. Then what is executed? Service, non-life cycle service, which do post? My solid do post. Our program executed. No? That's what do post will handle only post type requests. Okay. Suppose this service method I'll override. This service HTTP solid request, HTTP solid response. Now get type request came. Get type request. Then what will happen? Life cycle service. Next, non-life cycle service, either HTTP solid or my solid. My solid. Okay. Then stop output. Now do get is not called. It is our code executed. Our code executed means it is stop out there only. Now post type request came. Suppose. Then same executed. First life cycle service, non-life cycle service. That's what I given notes. Service method will handle both get and post type requests. Okay. Suppose I'll override this service method. Life cycle service. Now get type request came. What will happen? Life cycle service. Which one is solid or my solid? My solid. This only stop it. Post type request came. Post type request. Then what will happen? Again same. This service method only called. This service method only called. Okay. Now then no difference between generic solid, HTTP solid if you override this method. Now still it is not possible to use redirecting. It is not possible to use session tracking because we are using solid request, solid response. With HTTP solid request only possible. Okay. That's what this is not recommended to override this method. This method you should not override. If you override, then there is no difference between generic solid, HTTP solid. Okay. Suppose what I'll do is these two methods I'll override. Two methods. Do get. Now do post. I'll override. Suppose get type request came. Get type request came. What will happen? Life cycle service, non-life cycle service, my solid do get. Post type request came. Post type request. What will happen? Life cycle service, non-life cycle service, my solid do post. But if get type request one task, post type request another task, in that situation you can use. Okay. Two different tasks. Get type one task, post type another task. Then two methods override. For both same task, service method override. Like that you have to select. Suppose I'll override all methods. These four methods I'll override. What will happen? Give me answer. All I'll override. Service, solid request, solid response. Service, HTTP solid request, HTTP solid response. Do get. Do post. All I'll override. Now what will happen? Give me answer. Only life cycle service called stopped. Remaining all no use. Because that will not call other method. That service method will call. But this our code. It will be called, it is stopped. If you override 4 methods also, if you override 1 method also, no difference. And generic solid also no difference if you do it like that. Okay. That's what. Here only 4 combinations you have to use. Do get, you can override one way, one combination. One more do post. One more both do get and do post. One more non-life cycle service. Remaining all no use. Okay. Write it. To handle get type requests, to handle get type requests, to handle only get type requests, override do get method. To handle get only get type requests, override do get method. So do get, you'll write. You will write some code. You'll write some code. Now get type request came. Suppose post type request came. Now get type request came. What will happen? This is entered. Okay. This code executed. Okay. So this is handled. This is not handled. Get type request came, post type request came. But this do get works. For post, not works. Okay. Write this one. To handle only get type requests, override do get method. To handle only get type requests, override do get method. So get type request comes, do get method called, but actually directly do get is not called. First superclass life cycle service, next non-life cycle service, next do get. Suppose post type request comes, superclass life cycle, non-life cycle, then do post, but our program not executed. That's what it will handle only get type requests. Okay. Next, to handle only post type requests, override do post method. To handle only post type requests, override do post method. Now, will it handle get type requests? No. Will it handle post type requests? Yes. To handle only post type requests, override do post method. Okay. Is it over? Next. To handle both get and post type requests, and if the task is same, then override non-life cycle service method. To handle both get and post type requests, and if the task is same, then override non-life cycle service method. Service which will take HTTP servlet request, HTTP servlet response. Get type request accepted. Post type request accepted. So get type request also accepted. Post type request also accepted. To handle both get and post type requests, and if the task is same, then override non-life cycle service method. Is it over? So get also handle, post also handle. But in this case, how this is executed? Give me answer. First of all, life cycle service, that is in HTTP solid. Next, non-life cycle service, our solid, our program. Stop it. Okay. Next, to handle both get and post requests, and if the task is different, then override both do get and do post methods. So do get and do post. It is dynamic binding like runtime polymorphism. Suppose get type request came. It is allowed, but this code executed. Post type request came. Allowed. This type request. So one solid only, two different task purpose also you can use. Get type request one code, post type request another code. No need to write if condition also, that is internal. If get type request comes, do get method called. If post type request comes, do post method called. Now these four combinations only you write. If any other, if you write, in these four only comes. Suppose, think yourself and give me answer. If I override other combination, what will happen? See, now 4 I given, no? One is only do get, one is only do post, one more non-life cycle service, one more both do get and do post. 4 combinations I given. Is it over? Now, suppose if I override service, okay. Next, if I override do get, next, if I override do post, what will happen if get type request comes? This is called and stopped. If post type request, this is only called and stopped. Then writing these two wasted, no? It is equal to say third combination. Okay, that's what no use. If you write all 4 methods, if you write equivalent to generic solid, that is no use. Then writing HTTP solid is waste. Okay. If you override non-life cycle service and do get, then also non-life cycle service only called. If I write only non-life cycles and do post is not called. If I write life cycle service and do get, life cycle service and stop it. That's what remaining combination no use. Like this you follow. You want to handle only get type requests. What you have to override? Do get. You want to handle both. If the task is same, service, the task is different. Do get and do post. You want to handle only post, do post. Like that, select. Okay. But in Eclipse, by default, what is coming? You observe. Do get. Now in Eclipse, what is happening? See, if I open Eclipse, if I write one solid program, what will happen? Just you observe. Do get, do post, both will override. You observe. Say some basics. In these basics, I'll right click. New. I'll select server solid. I selected solid. Here by default HTTP solid coming now. You observe. Package name basics. Suppose class name my solid. Okay. By default HTTP solid coming. You observe. Okay. Next. Now my solid leave it that URL pattern. Now here you observe. Do get, do post. Both are coming. That too you observe one more again after generating code also. After generating code also code you see. Now here do get overridden. Okay. Do post overridden. Suppose get type request comes. Do get called. Post type request comes. Here what is happening? See. Again do get calling. So instead of writing life cycle service, non-life cycle service, this mechanism they given. Suppose you want to handle both. You want to handle both. Task is same. Instead of non-life cycle, this mechanism use they are saying. So now what will happen? Post type request comes. Do post call. Do post what is doing? Do get calling. At last call no. Now post also handled, get also handled. This type they return. Either follow like this, whatever I said, like that also you can follow. Okay. So if both the types of requests you want to handle, if the task is same, this is one more way. Okay. This is like this coming default. Now here to handle both get and post type requests, and if the task is same, then override non-life cycle service method. I said non-life cycle service method, or override do get and do post as follows. That means what you have to do is do get your do post do get your or your write HTTP solid request, HTTP solid response. Okay. Now here you can write whatever you want. You can write whatever you want. But in do post, what you have to do? Do post HTTP solid request, HTTP solid response. Here from just only one line code. What you have to write? Do get. Here that request, that response you pass as a parameters. Now suppose get type request comes. If get type request comes, what will happen? It is called. It is called, no? It is called. It is not a problem. Directly called. If post type request comes, okay. Post type request comes. What will happen? This code executed. What this code calls this one, no? At last called. Okay. So Eclipse what is showing like this showing. What I said, I survey life non-life cycle service method I said, or this one also you can use. Write this one also. To handle both get and post type requests, and if the task is same, then override non-life cycle service method or override do get and do post as follows. So instead of writing non-life cycle service, use this concept. That means Eclipse what is saying, write do get do post only, don't write service. They are Eclipse saying. That means Eclipse environment designed like that. Now at last it is equal to non-life cycle service, no? Now both the requests are handled. It is also handled. It is also handled. So by default, Eclipse is showing like this. It is also okay. Not a problem. But generic solid, if you use, there is no other option. Compulsory lifecycle service. No other option. Here, multiple options are there. Understood what I said? Is it clear? To handle only get type requests, what we have to override? Do get. To handle only post type request, do post. To handle both get and post, task is same. Non-life cycle service are like this. To handle only, to handle both, task is different. Do get, do post. Then this line we have to remove. Task is different. There one task, here one task. Task is same. This do get calling required. Okay. Is it clear? Now it is alternative to non-life cycle service. It is an alternative to non-life cycle service. Okay. This is a concept. Now application part you are going to see. Now our task is this is our task. This is our task. Online students, end of the session, I'll clarify your doubts. Okay. Now here HTML programs, homepage.html, login.html, registration.html, these three programs completed. Now we have to write these two programs. First registration solid we'll see. In the login, right click, new, solid. Now package name, suppose login, I'll continue as it is. Class name, reg solid. Okay, reg solid. Now HTTP solid. Now by default HTTP solid, I'm going to continue that one only. URL pattern already we decided. What is the URL pattern? REG. Already we written in the program. REG. Click OK. Next. Now, which type of request coming from here to here? From here to here, which type of request coming? Post. Already in this program we written method equal to post. That's what post type request coming. Then which one you have to override? Do post. Then no need of do get. You can write do post. No need of do get. But if we continue also, nothing will happen. It is anyhow that is not called. Okay. Now I'll remove this. Do post, I'll continue. Okay. Only do post. But do post, I'll write. Now our task is, you observe, whatever we enter, that is we have to receive. How to receive? Methods are given. Get parameter names, get parameter values, get parameter map. 4 methods are given. Okay. We have to receive. After receiving, this is we have to store in database. That means you have to establish the connection. JDBC code. JDBC code require insert query. We have to write. We have to create table. That task required. After that, we have to display. Now, connection establishment. How many times required? One time or many times? One time or many times? Now, n number of people can register, but count connection establishment how many times required? One time establishment enough. N number of records can be inserted. Connection establishment one time required or many times required? One time. One time required means you have to select init method. But init method how many times called? Very first request. Connection establishment you have to write there. Inside the init method. Init method how many times executed? One time. Whenever first request comes. Then connection established. Task code we are writing in the do post. First request comes, init called, do post called. Second request comes, do post called. Third request comes, fourth request, always do post. Connection close code where we are to write destroy. Connection close we can write there. That is also I'll select. So init, destroy, do post. These three I'm selecting. Okay, finish. Now you observe. Now registration solid. Init method, destroy method, do post method. Okay. Now our task. First, our task is receiving request parameters. 1 minute. See, here, when you click on submit button, registration solid is going to be executed. But here already method equal to post we written. That's what do post we overridden. Here action equal to the solid URL pattern we written. That's what when you click it comes here. Here first we have to receive these 4. First name, last name, username, password. Whatever we written in the HTML program reg.html. Say method equal to post. F name, L name, U name, P word. Now get parameter method I given no. That is you can call. Here first you have to receive. Get parameter method in solid request. Get parameter method in solid request. But here we have HTTP solid request because it is sub interface. This is also you should know. Solid request, HTTP solid request. It is sub interface. Solid request, HTTP solid request. Here, solid response, HTTP solid response. Ready to. So whatever you studied solid response, that is you can access with HTTP solid request also because super interface sub interface. Solid. No, I given methods. Get parameter names. Get parameter values. Get parameter map. 4 methods in solid request. All those methods can access with HTTP solid request. Yes. Get writer. Get output stream. Those methods in solid response. Can I call this HTTP solid response? Yes. Using sub interface, super interface method you can access. Okay. You studied. Is it completed? See in the program. No. What we have tried? String method names I given. Get parameter name. These all open. What is the return type of get parameter? See string. String s1 equal to request dot get parameter. Parameter name is f name. First name accepted. Okay, whatever you enter. Same style. S2. Request dot get parameter. Parameter name L name. See, in HTML program I given f name, L name. No, that one, this one must match. Otherwise, blank page output comes. That error server side displayed. Server console. Now, must match. If it is not matched, error. String s3 equal to request dot get parameter. Parameter name, u name. Next. string s4 equal to request dot get parameter p-word. Okay. You observe reg.html program here. F name, L name, U name, p-word. These names must match here. If it is not matched, program will not compiles syntactically right. Execution time error, that is exception comes, that will not display in the browser window. It will display in server window. Blank page appears. Okay. You have tried properly. If any mistake happened, it doesn't work. Now these four we have to insert in database. Receiving request parameters completed. This is we have to store in database. But if you want to store in database, first you have to establish the connection. No? Connection code where we have to write in do post or init. Init if you write how many times executed. Do post if you write how many times? Many times. Every user registration again connection established. That is burden to server. That's what init method you have to write. Here we have to load the driver. How to load? Class dot for name. Next, what will write? Oracle dot jdbc dot driver dot Oracle driver. Okay. Loading a driver completed. Establishing connection. Connection con equal to driver manager dot get connection. Connection. What you write? Colon Oracle colon 10 colon at local host 1521 XE. Next, system manager. Okay. Now, like this. Okay. Now loaded. Driver loaded, connection established. Okay. Connection driver manager available. That's what I imported. But still you are getting error. Try catch blocks. Okay. Shortcut keys I didn't explain now. Just after this program, Monday or Tuesday, I'll explain. Okay. Shortcut keys, so many shortcut keys are there. Then very quickly you can write Eclipse programs. Okay. I'll explain. Now, shortcut keys. Here first you have to select the text. Select the text. Shortcut keys are there. Try multi-catch or try catch. You can write something. Try multi-catch is selected. Like this, connection established. Over. Okay. Connection is established. Now, this connection variable, connection reference, it is variable. Is it instance variable or class variable or local variable? Can we access in do post? Then what you have to do? Outside you have to declare. Here as an instance variable you have to declare. What you have to write? Connection con. Okay. Connection con. Now it is instance variable. Instance variable, how many ways to access? What are those? Is it valid here? Valid. How it is valid? Implicitly this dot. Here implicitly this present. In Eclipse, it is valid or not valid, immediately you can give answer. That if it is not valid, red color symbol comes. So it is valid only. But how it is valid? Implicitly this dot. Okay. In Eclipse, what will happen? While typing only compiled. Every character compiled. So this implicitly this dot con we can access here. Now with that connection, now we have to insert query, we have to execute. But insert query, if you want to execute, statement, prepared statement, callable statement. Any one interface required? No? Which one required? Statement or prepared statement or callable? Which one? Prepared statement. Values coming dynamically. The values are stored in S1, S2, S3, S4. These values we have to place. Okay. So dynamic queries, maximum in real time prepared statement required. Okay. Prepared statement. Prepared statement. PSTMT equal to connection reference dot prepare statement. We have to write query. Dynamic query. Dynamic query. What is the table name? uinfo. That table also we have to create. Then outright insert into uinfo values. 4 question marks. First name, last name, username, password. These values you have to fill. How to fill? How to fill? Prepared statement dot set string. First string, first question mark S1. PSCMT dot set string. Second question mark S2. Next, set string. Third question mark S3. PSTMT dot set string. Fourth question mark S4. Now, set string, set string, set string, it's over. After this, which method you have to call? Execute update. Execute update. Okay, inserted. Now it is inserted in database. After this message you have to display. No, you have registered successfully login hyperlink. You have registered successfully login hyperlink. This is as a response you have to send. For that, what we have to write? Print writer response dot get writer. Stream created. pw dot println. You have registered successfully. Okay, you have registered successfully. After this, one hyperlink also required. Login hyperlink. Hyperlink, if you want to write which query required, which tag required? Anchor tag. Okay, anchor tag. Anchor tag hyperlink reference login.html. Login hyperlink. Okay, but remaining HTML queries also, HTML tags also you have to write. That's what I'll write here. pw.println HTML body bg color. Whatever you want, you can write later. Cyan text something blue. This is okay. Total content I want center. This is level 1 heading I'll give. Here anchor tag. After this, remaining all you have to close. Center close, body close, HTML close. Say writing HTML code in Solid little bit complicated. That's what JSP came. That is JSP very simple. And Solid's also very lengthy. See, already 70 lines. Okay. But JSP, this program in 5-6 lines we can write. Later in framework, that is also no need to write. Ready-made program. Frameworks means ready-made programs. You have to open, you have to customize, you can configure, you have to deploy. That is only Spring Boot. That's what companies are using, Spring Boot only. Now, but without these all, little hard to understand. That is the reason you have to learn compulsory. Now, HTML code, print writer, this whatever is you have registered successfully login, it is completed. Okay. Print writer, we have to overwrite. Again, this is try catch blocks. Alt Shift Z. These all surroundings purpose, one shortcut key. Now it is over. After this, here destroy method, connection close. Connection dot close. But it will throw exception. Okay. Now this is a program. Now it is registration Solid. Okay. Up to here, I'll run this program. For we have to create table, Oracle database. We have to create a table. Now, 1 minute. Table is there or not? I'll check. Not there. Okay. Now we have to create table. What we have to write? Create table uinfo. F name. Varchar 2. It's about 10 characters. Next. Name. Uname. These names, if you want, you can write different also. But HTML, that one must match. This one, another name also you can write. Table created. Okay. Now I'll run this program. Right click, run on server. Save. Save here. Homepage.html. Okay. Welcome to Nareshai Technologies login registration. I'll click on registration. Whatever you enter. Okay. Now. So whatever you enter, after entering submit button, you click. One error came. Reason connection. Now driver, where it is driver? Driver. OJDBC 8_g dot jar file, OJDBC 6_g dot jar file. No, that is class path we have to set. Right click, build path, configure build path. Here you can attach. Otherwise, one more option, what you can do, directly this PC, C drive, Oracle XE, app, Oracle, product, 11.2.0 server, JDBC, lib. This one directly copy in server. Then for all application applicable. Further, any JDBC program is there, no need to set the class path. This is copied directly in server lib. C drive, program files, Apache Software Foundation, Tomcat, lib. Here you paste. Now it is in server only now. OJDBC 6_g dot jar file, I copied in server. When already server configured, no, this is applicable for all applications. Otherwise, one every application you have to set. Directly Tomcat lib. Okay. Now right click, run on server. Now 1 minute, I'll stop the server. I'll restart. It's already started now. I'll restart. Server stopped. Now I'll restart because already one jar file copied. That's what restart required. Now, homepage.html. Okay, registration. If you click submit, see, you have registered successfully. You can check here. Select star from uinfo. Okay. Now, through HTML program, we enter data that is received by Solid, that is stored in database. But in this program, you observe, Java code is there. Okay, Java code. It is SQL. Here it is SQL code. It is HTML. Three languages are there: HTML, Java, SQL. This HTML passed to browser. This SQL passed to database. Java code executed inside the server. So Java code executed inside the server, SQL query passed to database. After executing, this code passed to browser. Browser side executed. So three places it is running: server, database, browser. In real time, server will be in one computer, database in one more computer, browser will be one more computer. Server may be in US, database may be some other location, and browser may be in Hyderabad also. Client to server communication like this. Three systems it is running. That type program. Okay. This program registration Solid. Write this program. I'll paste in edit place. I'll remove individual import statements and unnecessary comments. All those things I'll remove. Then you can write. Now, here IO exception star I'll write. SQL star. It is Solid star. HDP Solid. These all unnecessary comments, all those things I'll remove.